on here and it left a ring and the table is not... I don't know why she got kicked off. But she said she had to go anyway. So, unfortunately, just have to end it there. Whoa. We were talking about OCD. We were talking about OCD. It's like minor, but it definitely is there. Certain things just have to be particular. You know what it is? I didn't know. Is that normal? For it to just like come out the top like that? I don't know. Certain things that I've always done that I didn't know weren't normal until I like realized they weren't normal. OCD isn't always like, what's the word I want to use? Like obsessive about like how particular things are. But as I've become more aware of it, I force myself to like let shit go sometimes. Because if I let myself go there, it's like a domino effect. Like it's like you rabbit hole into it, you know? So like knowing that about myself, like that's really draining. It's very exhausting if you let yourself go there. So I like force myself because like I said, it's like minor. It's never been like out of control to where it's like really debilitating. It's definitely doing its thing now. It was not doing that earlier. So, one of the things that I used to do, and I still do this, but like, this is something I control myself on now. I have to count. It's going to sound crazy. I've never said this out loud. I think I finally told my friends this like in the last year. I've never told anybody this until like recently. Yeah, it was like built up in there. I have to count squares. It's gonna sound really wild, but like, if something's like, let's say I'm driving down the road, or I'm like the passenger in a car, that's when I do it the most. I count every single square that I see, and I have to count all four corners of it. And I was explaining it to my friend. She's like, oh, you're like making sure that it's a square. And I'm like, I didn't ever think about it like that. Like, I'm making sure. You could tell, you could see a square is a square, but I'm making sure that it's a square. I have to count all four corners. And then I have to count, if there's multiple squares in a square, I have to count all the squares in the square before I count the square. And then if there's lines outlining the square, like let's say it's a street sign or something, or like the signs on the freeway that have like the reflective shit like around it, I have to count all the squares in that square, which is technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's the square within the square, and then there's the square outside the square. It gets very draining. So I only let myself have a little square counting now. I don't count all